Hey guys, you're watching episode 1 of the Reaction Hour. I am Gian Perez. With me as always, Daniel Trujillo. So let me explain the show a little bit. We're just basically reacting to, it's like a reaction podcast.
Yeah, that'd be a good, accurate statement.
You know, we're going to be giving our opinions on different videos, memes, so on and so forth. Just things that are going on in the world.
Trying something different, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see if you guys like it or not.
Some of you guys have sent us video requests. Just throw that out there. We're not going to do music videos. We're not going to do reactions to trailers. You know, we already do those videos on their own.
Independent, and it's
we want more funny stuff, news stuff, you know, a lot of
stuff that's
articles.
based in reality.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, things of that nature, you know, things that are happening in your world and our world, so on and so forth.
And first little segment this week has to deal with Christian pastor. As we all know, they like to they're a little flamboyant with the money that they receive from the church. And one in particular kind of blew up this week because he needed a 4th airplane. Jesse Duplantis. So yeah, he already has 3 jets. This is his 4th one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jesse Duplantis. Thank you for tuning in.
Right off the bat, I'm not giving this old fuck any of my money.
You know, I've owned 3 different jets in my life.
Are you throwing it in my face?
Used them and just burning them up for the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, some people believe that preachers shouldn't have jets. I really believe that preachers ought to have and go on every available voice, every available outlet to get this gospel preached to the world. Now, I talk about this in a lot of my messages, and I want you to see this.
I'm slowly starting to change my tune.
This is the very first plane.
You want to give him money?
Dude, did somebody give him the Starship Enterprise?
Just wait.
I said where I began. And then the second one I purchased was in January 2004, where I used to be. The one I'm flying right now, and it's been with me 12 years. I purchased it in January 2006, where I am.
Was a 12-year-old
jet
not good enough?
Now, this is the Star Trek Enterprise. This is where I'm going. Praise God, what I believe in God for. Let me just say this. We're believing God for a brand new Falcon 7X so we can go anywhere in the world one stop. Now, people say, my Lord, can't you go with this one? Yes, but I can't go at one stop. And you see, if I can do it with one stop, I can fly it for a lot cheaper because I have my own fuel farm.
So what do you think?
It's a blessing of
I want to know where the fuck in the world he's going. Like, ain't nobody buying this guy's bullshit outside of the U.S. Like, outside of the South, maybe even. Who knows?
I mean,
I swear to God, if you're in
jets...
California and you're like giving this guy money, let me know your address so I could slap the shit out of you.
Some Indian slaps. How much money do you think the jet cost, by the way?
Oh, these are millions.
I know. Take a guess.
The jet that he wants?
The one that he wants.
15 million.
54 million. I mean, the video gets better.
But this one here, I have to stop, and then you pay those exorbitant prices for jet fuel all over the world. We've asked the Lord Jesus Christ, and we're believing God. In fact, he told me, Jesse.
See,
it was
Jesus
one of the
told
greatest
him.
statements the Lord ever told me. He said, Jesse, you want to come up where I'm at? And I said, what do you mean? He said that before you ask, I'll answer. Isaiah 65:24. I said, yes, Lord. He said, I want you to believe me for a Falcon 7X. So I said, okay. But the first thing I thought of was how I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah,
and then
believe
that
him.
great statement that he told me
as long as you believe it, it'll happen.
Flooded into my mind and said, Jesse, I didn't ask you to pay
secret?
for it. I asked you to believe for it. Now think about that for a minute. So I like all people to know exactly what I'm
just
doing
waiting
in
for
this
a
ministry.
woo.
We don't hide nothing whatsoever at all. I am a blessed man. You're looking at a blessed man.
This
and
is
we never
Ric
ask you to
Flair.
give
It
something
is.
that me and
The
Captain
preacher.
don't give ourselves. We believe in that, and that's what it's all about. So think about this. This was paid cash.
You know what?
This
I
was
wonder
paid
if he
cash.
actually-
All cash,
this was
bro.
paid cash.
I wonder if he
And the new one
actually
will be-
believes it. He might.
That if he believes it, he can
He
get.
might actually believe that shit.
I
mean, the greatest villains in the world are the ones that don't think they're doing anything wrong.
Because my thing isn't on a real level here. I've always wondered this. Yeah, they're getting exorbitant amounts of money from people for basically just doing not a lot of stuff, right? They're scamming a lot of people out of their income. I don't care how you break it down. And maybe he does believe it, right? He can't really enjoy that money anyway if he's preaching all the time, right?
Right.
If he is doing what he's like this guy, if he's going to supposedly fly around the world with his jet, that's not a lot of time to enjoy that money.
I mean,
we
we don't know who's on that jet. We don't know what kind of whiskey he's got on that jet.
That's true.
We don't know what kind of food.
He's a man of God.
I've never been on a private jet, so I don't know how it feels. But I feel like if you're flying around by yourself or with 2 other people, you have you got someone waiting on you and whatnot. It's a different experience than being jammed up in coach on a domestic airline.
Are you saying that if you want to preach the word of God, you
Commercial
need to have a private jet?
No, I'm saying he's having a good time on the jet is what I'm saying. Like this. It's not like, you know.
So there's one more video though that I found a little more relatable to us, and mostly because, well, we're in the film world. This is another video, also him asking for money. But yeah. So
gentlemen, I'm Jesse Duplantis. I want you to listen to me today. We believe the world is worth winning for Jesus Christ, and this year the Lord is telling us to advance into new territory. We first started shooting with these, watch here, I want you to get a shot of it, with these HD cameras back in 2005. Just this section right here, just this thing right here is $100,000. Can you believe that? That's the lens. And we were told that their lifespan is only about 5 years. Now they're not even making parts for
their
them.
lifespan,
ladies and gentlemen. But you know what?
Lenses don't have
lifespan. For
lifespan.
13 years. That's why we're advancing into 4K. The amazing advances in 4K HDR technology will enhance our ability to reach billions 24/7.
I'm gonna pause that one. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it right there.
Get the fuck out of here.
So this is why. So this one I found really more relatable to us because he is preaching the bullshit. No matter who you are, you can't run this by any filmmaker, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's in 4K. It's gonna get broadcast more places." No.
Look. When I was working on Nashville, the DP kept on going up. He kept on wanting the newest cameras. So this last season,
which is ironic,
the season last year,
broadcast in 1080.
Exactly. Last year he shot in 8K. And I asked the editors, I said, what do you guys get from this? And they're like, absolutely fucking
wasting
nothing.
Our time.
Just wasting our time. Making us wait on files. It takes longer to
processing because the computers can't handle.
It takes longer to upload the
Yep.
Yeah, it just eats up bandwidth left and right. And you get nothing out of it, really. Like to a certain point.
For a TV show, you don't. For a TV show, you
don't. No. Here's the thing. Here's the key. If you are watching, if your TV at home is 720, you're watching in 720.
No, I know.
Yeah, it's well,
when they shoot in 8K, they're gonna downscale it all the way to
exactly
to you know, maybe the Blu-ray will be in 4K, whatever. But the point
is,
the
only benefit of it is if they archive this stuff and then 20 years down the line, everything is broadcast in 4K and everybody has a 4K TV,
which is gonna be a possibility.
Right,
but America just got 1080. You know,
there's definitely
less than 10 years ago.
There's definitely people. There's less people with 4K TVs than there are.
Well, I mean, even just internet in terms of cable companies broadcasting, and Netflix only on streaming services do you get it. So he'd be able to.
And you have to pay extra for it.
Absolutely, but and
it's not worth it.
No, it's not. So it gets better though, because this lens actually, this whole system actually is worth $100,000. Like that's not he's not making that up. I mean, there's a markup to it. It's not worth that much, but it is pretty steep.
Well, he might have paid that much for it.
Right. So, but just wait till he breaks down the 4K camera.
With these new state-of-the-art professional studio cameras, we will become the world's first international ministry with true,
B&H.
and I emphasize the word true 4K end-to-end production capability. Now, the cost for this upgrade is about $2 million, but we cut a deal. We negotiators here, and we can get it for $1.5 million. We're believing God for 1,500 people to give $1,000 toward this project. We know that some can give more and some less, but together we will get
probably pocketing,
it done.
Like...
Thank you for your interest and for.
Well, okay, at $1.5 million, that's 7 cameras. What do you need 7 cameras to preach for?
You don't. I mean,
and what's ironic is
the best part is they're still shooting in 30 frames too.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, not even that. Blackmagic sells a freaking studio camera that could do the same exact shit for about $1,500. So, and no one would know the difference. You know, they could go and buy those, 15 of those.
What it comes down to is, it's like playing guitar. If you buy a $6,000 guitar, you're gonna sound way better than if you play $150 guitar.
Until you actually hang out with guitarists.
That's because the more expensive guitar is going to make you play better, obviously.
Well, duh. Right? That's what I'm saying. If you buy the Van Halen replica guitar,
you're going to play like EVH.
Yeah, exactly. Van Halen's going to be coming knocking.
Absolutely.
That's the way the world works. The last thing on this, and
this guy might have nicer cameras than the NFL
does. He probably does. And what's the one thing that I really stuck out to me was funny is that he said, "We'll be the first broadcasting to have true," and I repeat, I want to emphasize true 4K. So first of all, those cameras don't shoot true 4K. They shoot UHD, which is not. I mean, again, his listeners don't know this, but that's why I look at this and it's like, I don't know anything about jets, so maybe he does need a jet.
Yeah.
I know fuck all about cameras, and I know they don't need that shit. But, you know, to each is their own. You know, if he can get $2 million from some suckers trying to get these cameras, more power to him, you know?
It's going to get you closer to Jesus, my friend.
Jesus is the one who told him to get this stuff. But
you know what's amazing about this is that this guy's a Protestant. He's not Catholic. And the only reason why the Protestants even exist is because getting away from that. Because the Catholic Church at the time was selling salvation. So only rich people were getting into heaven, according to the Catholic Church. And Martin Luther from Germany, who was a Catholic priest, said no, and started the Lutheran Church. And that led to this, like, all the Protestant revolution.
Are you saying that history repeats itself?
History is absolutely repeating itself with this. I mean, because that's basically what he's saying. Like, if you give us money, it's going to get you closer to Jesus.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So this is a weird segue because we go from this to a video that we got submitted. So, you know, Mother's Day was a few weekends ago, and we received 2 videos that actually relate to mothers. So I figured, you know, we'd bring this up.
We should know, like, the history of Mother's Day because they celebrate it on different days around the world. I don't know if it's
I mean, I still feel like it's a Hallmark card.
It's a Christian
I feel like
thing.
you should be grateful for your mother every day. You know, I don't think that.
Some people don't have time.
I know. I get it. I mean, I get it. It's nice because at least they get one day, you know. But anyway, let's get into this one. This one is called Good Cop Indian Mum Cop.
Now, come on.
I like the laugh track.
You're on the bank's CCTV. We find 400 grand in your flat. You banged to rights. Why don't you just confess?
Don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Oh, come on, Razor. I'm trying to make it easy for you.
So, you tried the good cop act. What are you gonna do? Try and get me to squeal with a bad cop?
You'll see.
This is like a cheap Guy
Come
Ritchie
in.
movie.
It's all yours.
Guy Ritchie on a budget.
Hello, darling. What the bloody hell do you think you're doing, huh? Loafer, rapscallion, big girl, sorry.
She's not allowed to do that.
I can do what the bloody hell I like. I've seen your file. I've talked to your aunt. Oh, yes, me and your auntie Pat had a nice long chat.
You spoke to Auntie Pat.
You want to kill your auntie with shame?
Auntie Pat don't need to know about this.
Too late, Sonny the Jim. And if she doesn't put you over her knee, I will. Duffer, dunce, no bollocks, Nancy.
So, you ready to confess?
Confess to what?
Confess to being a disappointment.
I'm not a disappointment.
Oh, really? Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Aha! My sister-in-law's cousin's daughter has been single forever. Do you like very big girls with monobrows?
Can we just get back to talking about the robbery?
This is a photograph of your bedroom where we found the 400 grand.
What's that for? Look at the state of your room. Do you want to catch diseases? When are you going to give your mother some grandchildren?
What's that got to do with anything?
It's got everything to do with everything, your poor mother. Don't be so selfish. She's the real victim here.
Well, I think the real victim is the bank. Ow!
Tell me, Razor, are you eating properly?
What?
Oh, look at you. You're so thin. You're wasting away. Let me give you something. We can't expect you to talk when you're hungry.
No, I'm fine.
Samosa?
No.
Pakoda?
No, I don't want nothing.
Aloo
Right.
tikki?
No.
Biryani?
No.
Chapati? Faluda? Dosa?
No.
Egg curry? Hindi? Twigs?
I'll have the Twix.
Hey, look here. Leave it alone. You're too fat already.
You are a bit lumpy.
Look at him. Wibble, wobble, wibble, wobble. No wonder Priya didn't want to go out with him.
Do they have the names
Razor,
of the actors?
Tell me, what are you planning to do with the money?
I'll look it up after.
What money?
The money you stole. You can't leave it lying around. You really should put it into property. My friend Sushma, she's selling her place. You know Sushma?
No.
Everybody knows Sushma. Mercedes. One very big ear, one very small ear.
I haven't got any money.
I can get you a very good deal. 3 bedrooms, double garage, gas barbecue.
I'm skinned.
A hot tub in the garden for your hot date with Priya.
No, I haven't got a penny.
It's only 400,000.
You take cash?
Got ya. Is for stealing the money. That is for not eating my food. And this is for having filthy thoughts about Priya.
Get up, and he's not worth it. You're 2 weeks from retirement.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
We've got what we need. Now take him away.
Won't let me stop playing the video.
Where are you taking me? To the cells?
No, to the bank.
It actually won't let me stop playing. Try to pause it like halfway and wouldn't let me. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to interrupt it. But so do you? How much of that do you relate to, from your own mother? Because I feel like some of that does cross over. It's not very specific to one culture. I feel like there's some universalities to that.
We have several videos discussing la chancla.
The chancla, that's major part of that here.
And just
the eating thing. My grandma would do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't look like you're eating well. And mind you, it's me. I'm fat. Like, of course I'm eating well.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Or maybe not eating well, but I'm eating enough.
That's definitely an older lady thing for sure. Like, that has to do with just them growing up and not having a lot to eat. So being overweight is a sign of health to the certain generations.
It's true. I mean, it has historical context too.
Yeah.
Fat, bigger individuals were definitely a sign of wealth, especially in like paintings and stuff. You know, especially in Victorian era, like that's where it was, right? But speaking of mothers, would you ever let your mom control your finances?
Yeah, actually. Not my mom, but like,
No, your mom.
My mom? Fuck no, my mom's terrible with finances.
So you wouldn't enter a business if she was like, all right, you can do the talent and I'm gonna be your manager and control your money.
Probably not, no.
So the other video that relates to mothers is this one. So Priyanka Chopra was on Seth Meyers, Late Night with Seth Meyers, and they talked about her show, obviously, and but they go and reveal that I guess Priyanka's mom travels with her everywhere whenever she goes like big countries and stuff. I didn't know.
Mom's getting a free vacation.
Well, mom's actually. Well, you'll see. I'll play the video.
Came for the beer.
Yeah, she's a beer fan.
Yeah, she's a beer fan. But
you guys gotta learn. You can get all these alcohols wherever you were. You don't have to travel.
Yeah, but it's Ireland, and I think my mom just makes excuses to come and visit me when I'm in like really interesting places in the world. So she just like uses me to actually visit this place.
Yeah, but I mean, you still benefit. You get to hang out with your mom.
Yeah, and she's super cool.
And it seems like you've chosen to hang out with your mom a lot because she is your producing partner.
Yeah, we're business partners. That's a lot of fun.
That's why I asked. Yeah. I didn't know that.
You can never yell at your mom.
No.
Like, when like it's a problem or if you're having a disagreement, she always just gives you the eyes. Like, she always just gives me the eye. It's like disappointed, and then I'm just like, fine, we'll do whatever you want.
So obviously you bring a lot of creativity to this producing partnership.
Yes,
what does she bring?
I am the creative, she's business.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't understand money and like taxes and all that complicated stuff. So she does all of that, whereas I do all the creative.
And was that your whole life? Was she the one that was locked in on money?
So there's a reason why I actually brought up this video in particular, and that was just my little segue. But the thing is, and this is what's more pertinent to us. So Seth goes on to ask her, like, you've starred in over 50 Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get offended by it, but, it's more of like, oh, you're one of those people who was actually what we were.
Like, where did I get this money from? I'm rich.
You, as a producer, you produce films all over the world, but you've done 50 movies in India, in Bollywood.
In India, in Bollywood.
See how she corrected him? In India? Yeah.
So I want to ask about this because obviously I'm guilty of this as well. I believe Bollywood to be a genre of films, but that's not the case.
No. And that's what annoys me so much. I mean, I don't even think I realized that when I was in India working in Hindi films, that Bollywood has been reduced to like a genre when it's not. It's actually an entire industry of movies which does action, drama. It's like Hollywood, but we're not even. Bollywood's not even a place.
Yeah.
Hollywood's a real place.
Right.
At Trader Joe's, I saw Bollywood flavored popcorn. How do you put a flavor to an entire industry?
We're basically Seth Meyers. We were, 8 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
When we did that first video, the Ragdesh, we called it a Bollywood movie. You can even see it in our video. We called it a Bollywood movie. And it was a Bollywood film in the sense that it was produced in Bollywood, but it wasn't what we were expecting because we weren't, or at least I wasn't familiar with the term, the Masala genre. That's what I consider to be Bollywood.
Right.
Or at least that's what I had considered Bollywood to be when we first did that. So that's what I was expecting.
Right.
I was expecting them to be World War II and then break out in song and dance and then...
That's the exposure that we get through just American media.
living here.
I mean, there's that documentary that came out about Apu.
Which I think we need to watch that. Check it out.
There's an episode of The Simpsons I remember where they're watching a Bollywood movie and it's, the same thing. Like it just breaks out into song and dance.
I mean, but because there's and just like every other stereotype, there are some underlying basis to it. That doesn't mean stereotypes are true, but how many trailers have we seen where it's lived up to what we once thought was Bollywood, and it is exactly that,
right?
So even the good movies like Sairat, which is kind of a Masala film, but it turned the whole genre on its head, or it did something different. But it's just ironic that it's a reality. But I feel like the more you learn, and not just for Bollywood, but more you learn about anything else in life, the more well-rounded you become.
Yeah, absolutely.
The less
it's
of an ignorant person you are. And so I just think it's interesting to see.
Oh, he ignorant.
Just to see, just hearing it.
Right.
Because that is on national television now. People do like her who probably never heard of her before because of her TV show here in the States. Did it get canceled?
Not sure.
With Quantico, right?
Quantico, yeah. I don't think so. I feel like it got picked up.
But
it might have been on the bubble.
It did. Quantico got canceled after 3 seasons this year. ABC canceled it. So by the time that this interview was released, because this was like 2 weeks ago, that it was already canceled. Wow. Well, that sucks. But speaking of canceling, it's a perfect segue
to Roseanne.
Now, this one you can do a little bit of a setup. I have the tweets, but you can set it up while I get these tweets up. But yeah,
for those of you not living in the U.S. and not really caring, Roseanne Barr was a very popular comedian who got her own sitcom in the late 80s to the early 90s. Very popular sitcom. ABC decided to bring it back, and it was 20 million people were watching.
25 million people on the first episode.
Super popular. But she decided to make a racist joke. And that's where, you could question if it was racist, if she meant it to be racist or not. Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. She's referring to, I think it's Vanessa Jarrett. Is it Vanessa or Victoria Jarrett?
I will tell you right now.
She was the media advisor for the Obamas.
Right.
African-American lady. For whatever reason, she assumed that she was Jewish.
Valerie
Jarrett. But if you look at the image on the screen, let's bring up an image of her. Like I don't know about you, but
so this is what she looked like. It doesn't. I mean, I don't necessarily get Jewish, but it's questionable. But the thing is, you don't call anyone an ape. I think that's the unless they're white, which we'll get to. That's Nancy Pelosi. But it's just not.
I mean, she looks like an African American lady to me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of like, oh, is she or not? So, and this is what she said in response.
I mean, I feel like in people of color in general, you should never, because we've already have this history of people from different ethnicities, brown people being compared to apes. We have over 100. We have 200 years of it.
Way more than that, I would imagine. I mean, I'd imagine the first time.
There's people out there that will say, well, they called the Irish apes as well. Well, at that time, Irish people were considered. They were subservient.
They were a notch above black people.
And either it was still an insult. They're dehumanizing people.
Absolutely.
That's the point of it, dehumanizing people.
And so she later apologized to Valerie Jarrett and to all Americans. I'm truly sorry for making a bad joke about her politics and her looks. I should have known better. Forgive me. My joke was in bad taste. I apologize. I am now leaving Twitter. It was not long after that ABC finally put the ban hammer on it and just canceled the show outright. And the problem with
that's a product of the times that we're in too. Like 10 years ago, they would have kept the show on because it was still making money.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Twitter wouldn't have been if this was 15 years ago. If this happened when Roseanne, the original show, was on,
oh, it would have been.
It wouldn't have happened because there was no news.
She wouldn't have had a chance.
Exactly.
To tweet it. Yeah, she would have had time to think when they interviewed her.
Exactly. And the thing is, what makes this sad is it's not because of her. She has money. She'll be fine. There's no, they did pull all the reruns and all the syndication, but she's accumulated enough wealth where
she's fine.
She could start a podcast today and people are going to be listening to it.
Right.
She'll be fine. The problem is everybody else. And that's what something you and I both relate to because, well, on Nashville, you brought it up. You would have been the everybody else. If you were on this show, you would have lost your job. Just as you're about to restart production.
Absolutely. The thing is, there's so many people. This is a tough industry. People have already hired for the fall season.
Yep.
So these people lost their job. Their chances of them hopping on another show is going to be tough.
Slim to none.
And that's the people that will get jobs are people that have been around for years. But it's the entry level people, the people that are lower, your coordinators, your PAs, so on and so forth. They're the ones that are screwed more than anything.
And even actors, some people who this is their first shot and they got a reoccurring role. I told you this personally off air that I know somebody who was a part of. So they introduced like a Muslim family to the show, and the reception was off the charts. People liked it. So Roseanne and the staff decided, let's make them a reoccurring role, and let's have them keep coming back. They're supposed to be next door neighbors, and getting on a primetime show on ABC in a reoccurring role, you're making money.
Right.
That's life-changing. That is literally life-changing.
Absolutely.
So he went from, I know the guy who plays the father.
Yeah.
He went from nothing, right? I mean, he was acting because I'd seen him throughout the years, like posting about he's acting, but he's
an older guy.
Yeah.
So he finally got his big break.
This was the big shot, and what happens? Her
Completely
racist mouth, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. You can't rewrite this. It's gone. He lost his shot, and because he didn't really get enough shows under his belt, they're not going to look. He might get one. But it's just like, I
mean, hopefully the casting director, the person that got him the gig in the first place, will
look
out
for
him and try to get him on something else.
But it's tough, man.
Yeah, no,
overnight
there's
too.
so many people out there that get that one shot.
I hope he didn't buy a house or something.
Okay, I'm gonna blow up now. This is it, and then the show gets canceled, and you never hear from him again.
And it wasn't even canceled because of the ratings. It was just canceled because of her mouth.
Because the star of the show was an idiot.
And that's what it comes down to. I don't care. She's been blaming Ambien. That's her thing. Which the best response I've ever seen for something like this. So
the only thing good a pharmaceutical company has ever come out with,
basically ever,
is this clapback.
So Sanofi, I guess, is the company who produces Ambien, said people of all races, religions, and nationalities work at Sanofi every day to improve the lives of people around the world. While all pharmaceutical treatments have side effects, racism is not a known side effect of any Sanofi medication. But I mean it's true though. She's trying to blame Ambien.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to say that doesn't mess you up in the head, and it might cause her to do this. It might. But if
we've heard about people doing crazy stuff, like people like getting up and making full meals, or people like I've heard a lot of people sleepwalking and a lot of people like driving.
But if you know that, turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Get off Twitter. I mean, like, because it doesn't. All that is a means. It's like getting drunk. It's Mel Gibson.
No,
you're getting drunk,
it's
and
not
you,
even
and
that.
You throw racial slurs.
I feel like when you're at her level, she has a personal assistant. She's got somebody there, and if she knows that crazy things happen, her assistant should have been there and taken.
How much do you think?
Away.
How much do you think
That's
Trump?
Bullshit.
How much do you think someone like Trump influences people like her? Or do you think this is genuine?
I think it absolutely does. I think that's why Donald Trump has emboldened so many people to come out of their caves
and just say whatever they want on Twitter.
People want to talk about that racism has gone away, and it's like, no, the racism's always been there, but people were ashamed of it. And then when the leader of the free world is so like easily spews out stuff, it's
easy.
Like, why can't I? Why can't that's your role model?
But do you think it's ironic? Well, maybe ironic's not the right word, but do you feel like this one almost seems to be universally justified not justified in terms of universally denounced? No one's coming to her side.
Well,
and
that's
saying
not true. There are a lot of people defending her, and there's a lot of people. What's happening right now is which has been happening for a long time, but especially right now with this instant, the use of false equivalency is through the roof right now. And for those who don't know what a false equivalency means, it's like basically saying, oh, well, why is she getting in trouble when so-and-so said this, trying to equate the level of what they said right or wrong to make it justifiable.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, that actually brings me to this point. And I'll, because this is the number one thing that people are comparing it to right now. And this was said 2 years ago on Bill Maher's Real Time.
New rule, Donald Trump must immediately submit to DNA test to determine whether he is in fact the love child of a human woman and an orangutan from the Brooklyn Zoo.
So, I mean, and then he goes on to basically say, you know, to prove it, right? And then Trump actually went and sued him for it because he proved it, blah blah blah. But this surfaced 2 years ago.
He proved that he's not half orangutan.
Basically, yeah, because that was the whole thing. But anyway, the thing is, people are saying, well, Bill Maher called him a monkey. Why isn't he getting his show canceled? Let's cancel. Everyone knows that it's a joke because of what you just said. There literally isn't hundreds of years worth of racial discrimination with being called a monkey specifically.
No, it's not a
white people.
It's not a racist joke. It's a comment on him being orange because of all the spray
because
tan
of his hair, because of his skin. It's just
you
could see where because some people said like that the outfit that she was commenting on for the Valerie woman was like it looked like one of the characters from Planet of the Apes. No, I know it's 100% a reach. It's 100% a reach. Exactly. But I'm just saying, let's go for a second. Say that's what it was, right? Let's play the devil's advocate here. She could have still made a better joke.
Absolutely.
She could have said Muslim Brotherhood, which is still kind of fucking out there anyway. But plus, such and such character outfit from Planet of the Apes, cut a side by side of like the outfit plus, and then people would have been like. But you could have defended it.
If she'd used the picture, it would have worked way better.
But people would have been like, it was a joke.
Yeah,
people would have been like, calm down,
it
calm down. It's not like...
Right. I mean, if you look on my Facebook, a black guy actually posted the pictures, and he's like, I mean...
Kinda. But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This was a cheap shot. It wasn't a joke.
It wasn't a joke. It just seemed like just a racist comment. It didn't seem like there was no setup to it. Nothing about it.
I mean, when Bill O'Reilly is fucking condemning her, that's when you know you have a problem. Roseanne Barr's vicious personal attack on former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett came out of nowhere and cost Mrs. Barr and the entire staff for program her jobs. ABC could not continue with the show without her or without insulting millions of Americans. So, I mean, what do you do, though? If you're ABC, real talk, we'll both answer this. You're ABC, you have one of the highest rated shows on television right now, and it's doing well. Yeah, the numbers are dipping. Yeah. It dipped to like 15 million an episode, this is Walking Dead status, right? And she says this. What do? Do you swiftly cancel it like this?
Yeah.
Or do you rewrite her out of the show? Or do you just say...
I think it was a knee-jerk reaction, obviously, but in the world we live in, the social climate we have nowadays in the U.S., you kind of have to do it because it's not... Your sponsors, your advertisers are pulling ads right away. They're like, hey, you know...
Yeah.
And the protest. Because regardless of... Even if some people defend it as a joke, whatever, the protests that are going to come about... Oh, it's a wrap. It's a done deal.
Now, if you were
it's the power of the internet because we have Twitter, because we have so many people like this. This guy clapped back immediately. This didn't like just sit and somebody. This isn't a tweet from 5 years ago.
This was 12 hours.
Yeah.
This all happened in 12 hours.
And that's the other problem with her tweet is that she made that same joke about somebody else 5 years ago.
She absolutely did.
It's the same joke.
She absolutely did.
And it was against an African. It was
absolutely
towards an African American woman. And by the way, let's clarify the Muslim Brotherhood thing. Do you know why she says Muslim Brotherhood?
I'm assuming because she's probably, I don't know.
I'm not even sure the lady's Muslim, but she was born in Iran because her.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Because her dad was working there. Like her dad, she's not Iranian.
She's like how Louis C.K.'s Mexican.
Exactly. Like she just happened to be born in another country, but she's an old lady. So this was back when Iran, before they had the revolution.
Right.
You know.
See, that's just stupid. Yeah, and for me to answer it, it would be for me, it's a no question.
Yeah.
I mean, because the only thing I would think of legitimately is there a way to salvage the show without her completely, where she gets nothing.
I mean,
and then you get to maintain.
The problem with the show is the show's named Roseanne.
No, I 100%
and it's
agree with you.
It's a show that was established with her as a star. It was on for
and it wouldn't work without
10
her.
seasons. No, it could. From what people are saying,
she's not a part of this.
That this season, the show's actually been focusing on the other characters a lot more than her. And maybe it's because of scheduling. Maybe it's because everybody knows she's batshit crazy and they're just using her name. But the fact of the matter is, there was a show in I want to say like in the late 80s, early 90s that starred Valerie Burton. And they wrote her out of the show after like a couple episodes or like one season. They wrote her out and they renamed the show. I think the show was called The Hogans, the Hogan family. And then they made her die. And then the guy's sister, like the husband's sister, comes up, and then she becomes the mom on the show. It was actually Jason Bateman's first show. Actually,
I didn't know that. But see, that's the thing, though.
It's
killing Roseanne the option. No,
yeah.
it's not, because, like you said, because of the advertising, because of what Bill O'Reilly said. America would be pissed.
Well, Bill O'Reilly's not defending you. I mean, that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why I brought it up.
But there are people defending her. I mean,
and they always will be.
And there's things coming out there. Like people try to use Bill Maher when he made the bad house nigga joke last year.
But we all knew it was a joke,
right? And he was talking about himself too. He wasn't talking. It wasn't directed towards someone else. People are talking about now with Samantha Bee because she called Ivanka a cunt last night.
Which I don't know why she called her a cunt.
Not the same thing. It had something to do with female rights or something, and her dad. Like it's there's a context to it if you watch the whole thing. But people are so focused on the one term.
Feckless cunt. She said.
Let's watch it.
You know, Ivanka, that's a beautiful photo of you and your child, but let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless c***. He listens to you. Put on something tight and low cut and tell your father to f***ing stop it. Tell him it was an Obama thing and see how it goes, okay? We'll be right back.
If she got fired from this, I would be behind her 100%, because that's a free speech thing on a show that's built around her giving her fucking unfiltered opinions, right? And it was a little edgy. Like it feels like almost a little unnecessary.
It was vulgar, but it wasn't racist.
Nope.
And I mean, there was a point to it. There was context.
And it was just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
As she said, mother to mother.
Yeah.
It wasn't like to all mothers, to all.
No.
You compare that other lady to Planet of the Apes, you might think it's just about that one lady, but you're saying what anyone who looks like her looks like an ape.
Exactly.
You know, anyone who has her background, like you said about the Iran thing, is a Muslim Brotherhood.
There's certain jokes that you can't make.
And that's one of them. And I feel like, it's unfortunate. I wish there was a way where she can get fined and pay people salaries or something, or like all the money. I mean, it's not going to happen.
It's not in her contract. No,
it's
that's
not going to happen. I
impossible.
know that.
Yeah,
I know that. But I'm just saying, like, because
unless she fucked up and signed a contract saying if I say something stupid that gets the show canceled, I have to pay people's salaries. And maybe, you know what, she's wealthy enough where she could take care of the crew and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna donate my salary that was paid
as a way to say sorry.
Exactly.
And that would be honorable.
Absolutely.
If she went out
and awesome PR points for that.
If she went out and paid everyone's salary for the year out of her own paycheck, I would say, you know what, Rosie or Roseanne, I
maybe we should start a campaign.
We should. Maybe, because genuinely, if she did that, I don't care if she really meant it or not. That's a big move.
Absolutely.
That's a big move, because that's a lot of money.
Yep.
And because none of those people deserved it.
No.
And if she did that, I would say, you know what? On that road to redemption. Like Harvey Weinstein, there's no forgiveness for that guy.
No, absolutely not.
There's no redemption.
No.
And so I can't even compare the two. But if
it's a physical act versus a tweet.
Exactly. But that's a strong direction, because she has money. She has money. All
right, guys. And to wrap this up, we just kind of want to talk about a reaction video we did last week. Somebody sent us a video for Ramadan by this Kuwaiti company. We had no context for the video. We just saw Ramadan, checked it out.
If you've seen the video, you know that we had no context.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had quite a few upset people. Like, they were surprised, they were shocked that we weren't they assumed that we weren't familiar with what was going on. And I think the big thing that we weren't familiar with was we saw the video and we didn't realize that it was a Palestinian boy. We thought, because of some of the images, that it was about Syria, but it only cut to Syria when it went to the ocean, and then it cut to Burma which is something I had.
Yeah, I didn't know
I
about
have
that
no. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea about what was going on in Burma with the Muslims in the Burmese. We didn't know it was I want to say it's not an anti-Islam video, but it was like a video saying that there's a lot of Islamophobia going around.
Which we all know about.
Yeah, we know about that, and that's like
I think I'd take some of the blame for it too, because I was
you
definitely
guys should.
I don't know. I'm saying I definitely was like, I don't know, I don't understand, I don't get it, and I get it now more so than before because I read the comments and stuff like that. But
for me, I feel like when you were saying that you don't know, it had more to do with like you didn't know what the video was promoting because
that's what
company.
It was.
We don't
but
know
I didn't articulate that. Yeah. That's what really the problem was. It was just it had to do with how I articulated. I don't know. Instead of just saying I didn't know, I should have said, you know what? I get why they're bringing up Trump. I didn't know the Burma thing. We didn't get that. But we don't need to understand everything.
I brought up in the video that
I didn't know why
Trump named Jerusalem
you did say
the capital.
You did say that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how that tied together because the last image is of Jerusalem, I believe. Right. And so I'm like, okay, I was with the video until it went there, and they started talking about the specific holy activities, like the one that Trump eliminated. That was, I guess it was every year for every president or something, and Trump was the first one.
The iftar.
And, when it started talking about that, because that was getting very specific.
Yeah.
When you get very specific on cultural things that I don't know about, I don't think you can chalk everything up to just being a dumb American. Because the reality is, this is a Christian nation, regardless of whatever it likes to put out there. And so, like for me, I grew up a Catholic, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that I'm a racist or I'm an Islamophobe or anything like that. It's just they're just not here where I grew up in.
Yeah.
And those that were here, I didn't get exposed to them until I was older.
Right.
So there's literally 20 years of my life that I don't know about all these things.
Well, I grew up with a lot of Muslim people, and I never knew that the meal after the fast was called iftar.
Because you don't practice it yourself.
Right.
And, unless you're going over to their house, which I don't know if you ever did, but because that's the thing. And I feel like
all my Afghan and Lebanese friends I grew up with, not once did I get invited to one of those meals. So
maybe you're not allowed to go?
I'm going to assume, that's what I'm assuming.
But see, I don't know. But Christmas, you invite people over all the time.
Exactly.
So, but who knows? And the other thing I feel like in America,
it's also a daily meal. Like they eat when the sun goes down.
Right. That's true. But
it's not like a Passover meal or
I guess what I'm getting at is more of when you grow up in the city, there's certain topics that are off limit.
Yeah.
Religion's one of them. You really don't talk about religion. I know the media likes to make it seem like religion is this thing, but religion causes problems. I feel like
I think in the U.S. in general, like
politics and religion are kind of off.
You try not to talk. Those aren't casual conversations you have with people that you don't know very well.
Exactly. So if you don't know what a Jewish boy is doing or a Jewish friend,
you don't talk about money either. People, I've noticed a lot of Americans, specifically like white Americans, they get very touchy when you ask them about money.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I don't like talking about money. So, but I mean.
That's
I don't have any.
You're fucking white.
But but you get what I'm saying though.
Right.
So it's kind of hard. It's almost like America kind of set up this scenario where you're not really supposed to be too inquisitive of other people because you don't want to potentially offend them.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And that's not me justifying why I don't know about it. I don't know about it because it takes place over there. That's as simple as that. And you read about. Oh, he switched the capital, and then basically overnight you had 50-something people dead in Jerusalem. That's a problem.
Absolutely.
That's no one's disputing that. I didn't say that.
I mean, we've heard about the protests. We've heard about
exactly.
That. We've definitely heard about that.
But that's not what the video was.
Because it's being condemned by.
But that's not the video.
No, absolutely
the video
not.
was showing a bunch of other cultures and a bunch of other world leaders and a bunch of other things, which I still stand by that. That was a powerful video.
Yeah.
Which was ironically about a cell phone company or something you said. But it was just once you get to that end, it was like, okay, what's my takeaway?
Right.
I don't know because I don't have enough context. That makes me ignorant, but it doesn't make me soulless. It doesn't make. I mean, fine, call me say what you want. I mean, honestly, I genuinely take it all in. I don't take any offense to it. But we put ourselves out there for Indian shit.
Yeah.
Right. Not at first. At first, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and then we kind of took the dive in and we went for it. And we realized, we don't know a lot of shit, but just keep telling us and we learn, right? So there's a certain amount of vulnerability that we put ourselves out there for. And that's not saying that people need to be nice to us or whatever, but I really think that sometimes that gets missed in the translation. at least for me, when I watch videos now of other people who are willing to put themselves out there on the internet, it does take a lot to put yourself in front of a camera every single day and to take that feedback. You kind of have to be a little bit thick-skinned to accept
Absolutely.
it.
No, you can't be thin-skinned in this business.
And since sometimes, I think sometimes people forget that there's an actual human being on that other side, you know? I forget that too all the time when I fucking talk shit about... People really love fucking Salman Khan, and I have no problem making jokes about the guy.
Absolutely.
You know? But that doesn't mean you can't like his movies, but, you know, you get what I'm saying. I'm talking all over the place
No, definitely.
here.
No, but it's definitely a thing that I think there's just some things that need to be clarified as well. Like, you know, some of you watch and you assume that we're just regular hot dog eating, you know,
Americans.
4th of July celebrating Americans that you see on TV, and you guys are not aware. I'm not going to call you ignorant, but you're not aware of the cultural differences and the racial disparities that go on in this country and the way we grew up. My parents, you know, grew up speaking English as a second language. I'm the son of immigrants. I grew up, you know, biculturally per se. You know, I grew up here in the States practicing American things because of my friends, but when I got home, you know, we lived a certain way. So to come out and say, oh, these Americans and you know, their typical Western views on stuff, I mean, that's not really accurate. You know, I responded to somebody, like, and all I said was like research what a Mexican and a Puerto Rican are, because all he said was like, you guys caused these wars and whatever, and then that's like, why are we making general statements? I didn't pass any political policies. I haven't been in favor of any.
And we weren't even preaching.
We weren't even preaching.
We weren't saying, Trump, go Trump. Yeah, they deserved it. I wish they'd kill more.
I mean, I feel like if you guys watch any of our podcasts, you'll really see where we stand politically. Like, I am 100% anti-colonialism. I do not like invading anyone else's country. I do not like that the U.S. is the world police.
Yeah.
We should not get involved because I feel like we've caused bigger conflicts by getting involved.
We created ISIS. We created
the
all this
conspiratard in me makes me think that, like, we're, you know, yeah, exactly. Our intervention, we're doing it on purpose. You know, like it's to benefit. It's just a part of capitalism that we have in this country. Like, you causing somebody's making money off of these conflicts.
Yeah, and it's not us.
Me, and it's not you,
and it's not us.
No, and innocent lives are dying, and you know, it's not.
And to sum it all up, I mean, it's basically what you just said is the extended version of what I already said, which is we're willing to put ourselves out there, and sometimes I wish people would just, like you said, what is a Mexican? What is a fucking Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
No, we need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But we do that through the comments, and I think that's
right.
That's the message that we like to relay
That's
to everybody.
That's the whole show, is interact with us and teach us.
That's it.
You know?
That's what it
and
is.
You could be, I mean, you want to insult us, go ahead. I don't get upset about it.
We don't get mad.
Just get a little creative. Sometimes the insults are a little generic.
Today is May 31st. I know this video comes out Saturday, but we recorded on the 31st. And so I just literally Googled it. Just Google, you know, what happened today in history. There's a few things like Big Ben started, the clock in England, whatever. Clint Eastwood was born today. This is Clint Eastwood's birthday. He's like 180 years old now. But this one I found kind of interesting. So this happened in 1929. Henry Ford signs agreement with the Soviet Union. After 2 years of exploratory visits and friendly negotiations, Ford Motor Company signs a landmark agreement to produce cars in the Soviet Union on this day in 1929. So Ford said, no matter where industry prospers, whether in China or India or Russia, all the world is bound to get some good from it. Because he felt that the best way to combat socialism or communism was through capitalism.
Yeah.
And, so what was interesting about it is, this article goes on to basically explain how without Ford's deal, they probably wouldn't have been able to fight Germany on the Eastern Front. It goes to say at the end that according to Brinkley, Stalin wrote to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce calling Henry Ford one of the world's greatest industrialists and expressing the hope that may God preserve him. So basically, Stalin really looked up to him because of this thing.
Right.
And, it's kind of relevant to today because if whoever's the head of Ford were to sign some exclusive deal with Russia, they'd immediate scrutiny.
Absolutely.
Immediate. Like Ford would crash, it would tank, people would start driving Chevys, So it's just interesting how, almost 100 years later, how much the world has changed.
I think that has more to do with Russia's leader than it does with Russia itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because Putin definitely feels like he's trying to restore communism, like basically the Soviet Union.
Well, and he rigged 2 elections,
Yeah.
his and ours.
I just thought it was interesting. You know, not everything's going to be about U.S. history. It's just that was the most appealing to me.
It's still kind of world history. If you
yeah,
think about it.
and so it's kind of cool. I don't know, because I didn't know that. I had no idea that they signed an exclusive deal with.
No, me either.
So it was news to me. But anyways,
crazy the world before World War II.
You're telling me, man. So there's memes here. This meme I thought was actually pretty fucking hilarious. Picture of Salman. For those who are listening, picture of Salman Khan on a Pornhub mobile. And the title is "Man Fucks Physics and Logic Brutally." It's funny. I don't know. I thought this one was funny too.
The Indian mathematician Aryabhata was actually trying to draw a Bob's pick, but ended up inventing the number 0.
I thought this one was also funny. This is a little edgy. So it's a picture of Hitler next to, I don't know who that is. Let us know in the comments. It says Hitler is very much alive and is now disguised as a Bollywood actor somewhere in India.
That's not AJ Devgan?
Is it? No, I don't think so. Maybe a younger version. I don't know. But I thought it was funny. This was kind of like an eye roll funny. Kanye West fans in India are known as West Indians.
That's dumb.
But yeah, hopefully this kind of gave you a general idea of what the show is going to be about. But yeah, send us your memes and everything, all your links,
right.
#reaction_hour. Send it to the email as well as in the comments below. Let us know if you have any suggestions for the show, what worked, what didn't work. And then for all the things we talked about, let us know how you felt about all this stuff. Because, you know, as Gian said, it's all about the discussion. It's all about talking about this stuff. So,
yeah. And that'll do it. You guys know the drill. Make sure to check out this video.
Loose, Mom. All right. How was that, Mom? Said, how was that? Was that fun?
I said, he's going to draw me. First again, I was going to shoot him in the stool.